Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, and we have a whole host of new DC updates to talk about. Every couple of days, the company seems to be coming out with something new, and throughout this video, we'll be going over the Fandome event, the secret movies that have been teased there, the Ray Fisher Justice League drama, and a lot more. There might be some spoilers here, so if you don't want anything ruined about the upcoming events, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for videos like this every day, and please drop a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. With that out of the way, thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our DC breakdown. Okay, so in the wake of the pandemic, comic book companies have had to think outside of the box over how they're going to host their conventions this year, and DC have really outdone themselves. In order to make sure that fans of the company have fun whilst the world falls apart, they're throwing a convention called DC Fandome, which will be a 24-hour online-only event that showcases their upcoming movies, shows, and games. In the centre is the Hall of Heroes, and this is where you will enter, meet your mates, and get to go out into the other halls to see the exclusive panels and trailers from all the upcoming DC movies. Now firstly is the DC Watchverse, which will allow you to become a virtual audience member. DC are planning on showing hours of content, including panels and exclusive screenings. They'll also be showing never before seen footage across their movies, TVs and games. I imagine that this will feature footage from the Batman, and this might be where we get a glimpse at what the creative team did on the movie before things shut down. Wonder Woman 84 is right around the corner, as is Suicide Squad, which has completed filming. Thus, I would imagine that we also get to see footage from both of them, including a world exclusive look at the latter. It's also likely that we'll get an announcement on exactly what is happening with the Flash movie and Michael Keaton. Keaton is apparently in talks to appear in the film, and it was thought that things were going to be officially announced at Fandome before the news leak last week from The Wrap. So plenty of things to get excited over before the event in August. It's also rumoured that we'll be getting an announcement of the games that WB Montreal and Rocksteady have been working on. This includes a Suicide Squad game in which you may be fighting the Justice League. Fans have drawn this conclusion because recently Warner Bros. Registered the domains SuicideSquadGame.com and SuicideSquadKillerJusticeLeague.com. The other game is apparently called Gotham Knights, and this will be a continuation of the Arkham franchise. Similar to Shadow of Mordor, the game will reportedly contain a nemesis system that sees the Bat family gaining rivalries with gangsters as well as corrupt police members. According to the Comics Kid, the game will contain the following elements. The Bat family will be playable. Now this was something that we saw in Arkham Knight when you could play as Nightwing, Robin and Batgirl. However, hopefully it extends beyond that and we can be Ace the Bat Hound. The next point says multiple factions in a nemesis system that includes the GCPD. This is of course very interesting as it will require you to play both sides of the law. The final point says the Owls will be the main antagonist, and what I like about this is that it says one of the main ones, so we will be getting other villains, but yeah, I'm definitely interested in exploring the Owls. I'm guessing that this is set after Arkham Knight and that the Joker will be dead, but it is possible that they could resurrect him similar to how Batman and Joker were in the Bloom and Epilogue of Scott Snyder's run. As for the other areas, DCUverse is going to feature user-generated content such as fan art, cosplayers and a lot more. DC Kids Verse will have hours-long family-friendly content that will keep the little ones busy whilst you check out the Gritty Snyderverse, which is, let's face it, what we all really care about. Now next is the DC Insiderverse, which will contain a panel with DC CCO Jim Lee, who'll be going over the entire company's future and what we can expect as fans. Lastly is DC Funverse, which will have some stuff for comic book fans, including how to make DIY Wonder Woman armor, Batmobile kits, and digital giveaways so you can get exclusive content before anyone else. However, I just want that DIY Wonder Woman armor because I think I'd look really good in it. Now, on top of all this, the convention recently released a new section on the mobile version of their website that will allow fans to ask a question about a specific movie. Why this has got so many people excited is because on there has been added 2 secret movies, so we do know that there are 2 projects that we're completely oblivious to that will be talked about at the event. I'm really hoping that we get a Man of Steel 2 announcement in some form or another. However, with rumours being that Henry will feature in smaller roles across the universe rather than substantial ones, I really can't see it. Obviously, I would absolutely love to see it, as Man of Steel is probably one of my favourite, if not my favourite DCEU movie. However, I'm not sure at the moment, but I guess time will tell. what I do think will happen is that it's going to be likely that the movies we've sort of heard about being in the works, but not had out and out confirmed, and therefore they're still technically secrets. The usual suspects for this are of course Black Adam, which we know is in development, but haven't really seen anything major in regards to other than casting. There's also the New Gods film, which will be written by Tom King and feature Darkseid. As Darkseid is being brought to the Snyder Cut, I can see this one being one of the most likely contenders, as the studio will likely want to promote this film off the back of the upcoming Snyder Cut. Geoff Johns is also writing the script for the Green Lantern Corps movie, and there is a chance that another Harley Quinn project involving Margot Robbie could be dropped too. Whatever these films are, they'll be rubbing shoulders with Aquaman, the Batman, Flash, Shazam, the Snyder Cut, the Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman 1984, and potentially even a new Watchmen announcement. Either way, there's a lot to look forward to, and I really can't wait to see what happens at the event, which is scheduled to drop on August 22nd. Now before we get into the rest of the video, I just want to let you know we're giving away a free copy of the MCU Infinity Saga box set to one random subscriber. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts on the updates in the comment section below. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 15th of July, and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. Okay, and finally, we have a pretty crazy statement coming from Ray Fisher in regards to Joss Whedon and his work on Justice League. Justice League, of course, had a troubled production, and after Snyder was either taking off the project or he stepped away, Whedon stepped in to fill his shoes and finish off the film. It's rumoured that this required reshooting 70% of the movie, editing out major story arcs, rewriting large parts of the script, and generally changing the film so that it was more in line with what Marvel were doing. And Warner Brothers clearly picked him in order to try and follow in their footsteps, which ended up giving us a film that felt completely different to Man of Steel and BVS. Suicide Squad was also changed massively, and though we haven't heard too many negative things about the behind the scenes process on that film, it's clear that Justice League was a much more different story. Last week, Ray Fisher, aka Cyborg, dropped a tweet which showed a video of him praising Whedon and stating that he did a great job in his handling of the project. Fisher said he'd like to take a moment to forcefully retract every bit of that statement. We didn't really know what that meant, but yesterday Fisher tweeted, "Joss Whedon on set's treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable. He was enabled in many ways by Geoff Johns and John Berg. Accountability is more than entertainment." So a massive statement to be making, and it does paint things out in a very negative light. Not only does it make Whedon look bad, but also John Berg, production president, and Geoff Johns, who was CCO of DC at the time. Both exited their positions after the poor performance of Justice League, which was said to be a large factor in the pair resigning. DC Comics in general has been all over the place for the last couple of years, I think, and Rebirth, which was headed up by Johns, in my opinion, started off well, but is slowly sunk to the point that I don't even really care about it anymore. It seems like this was the case on Justice League 2, and yet things were clearly not as fun as we were led to believe. Now, initially, I was kind of like, well, Whedon did have a lot of pressure on his shoulders, as he was brought in last minute to refilm 70% of the movie and try and catch lightning in a bottle, similar to how he did with the Avengers. There was of course the Henry Cavill mustache stuff, and it's even rumoured that the "I tried" notice in the movie is from Whedon, who was trying to tell the audience he did his best. However, after thinking about it, all that, it still doesn't give anyone the right to be abusive to people, and honestly, when you see Fisher talk about the movie, it's kind of heartbreaking to see what he went through. This was meant to be a big moment for the actor, and it looks like it was pretty much ruined by a troubled production schedule and a director that was abusive towards him. Now there are two sides to every story, but for the moment, Whedon has remained silent on the matter. However, Alan Tudyk came out and spoke in defense of him, saying that he wasn't there, but he doesn't think that Whedon would do it and can't imagine it. Again though, he wasn't there and doesn't know what happened, and I don't think you should undervalue someone's experience, especially if you weren't there. James Gunn liked this tweet, and of course he's working on Suicide Squad, so yeah, lots of things potentially going on behind the scenes at DC. John Berg, however, has not remained quiet, and on Wednesday he told Variety that it was categorically untrue and that he did not enable any unprofessional behaviour. He later went on to say, I remember Fisher being upset that we wanted him to say booyah, which is a well-known saying of Cyborg in the animated series. Now this is something that I've often heard, but honestly, it just sounds like such a weird thing that I'm personally not sure I believe it. Obviously Fisher would know this as the character's catchphrase, and it just seems like such a weird thing to be angry over that I can't actually imagine anyone getting angry over it. Obviously I wasn't there, but it doesn't look like things were good. I'm going to hold off giving my opinion on it until things are fully out in the open, as at the moment there's no real evidence either side to corroborate anything. However, the fact that so many actors on the project came forward to support Snyder and Whedon's silence does paint things out as being a certain way, which doesn't look good. It's a weird situation in the lead up to the Snyder Cut release, and I guess we might find out in the next coming weeks, or we might never know. Now obviously that's a lot of things to talk about, so make sure you leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check out our latest DC video, which is going to be linked at the end. We go over all of Michael Keaton rumours, whether we think Ben Affleck is returning or not, and a lot more. If you want to support the channel from as little as 99 cents a month, then please click the join button below. We massively appreciate it, and as a thank you get access to content early. If you want to come chat to us after the show, either follow us at Heavy Spoilers or click the Discord link in the description below. Those are the best ways to keep up to date with the channel, so hopefully we see you over there very soon. And hey, I hope you have a nice day at least. I hope someone out there watching this video is having a nice day. Take care. Much love.